Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UES horizon and watched the stars. He had been doing this job for 5 years now, captain of Earth's diplomatic vessel. It sounded impressive, but most days it meant flying important people to boring meetings. Today was different. Today felt wrong. "Captain, we're receiving another transmission from the Galactic Council," said Ben Harper from his station. Ben was the ship's chief scientist, a thin man with gray hair who always looked worried. Today he looked more worried than usual. Jake nodded. "Put it through." The screen flickered to life. Ambassador Lisa Campbell appeared. She was on the council station, millions of miles away. Her face was pale. "Jake, we have a problem," she said. Her voice was tight. "The Zentari are making demands. They want 3 of our colony worlds. They say it's tribute for their protection." Jake felt his stomach drop. Protection from what? "From them, apparently," Lisa said. She looked tired. "I told them no, politely, very politely, but they didn't like it." This was bad. The Zentari Empire controlled half the galaxy. They were the strongest military power in known space. At least, that's what everyone believed. Humanity had joined the Galactic Coalition 30 years ago. They had been careful, very careful. They showed respect. They shared some technology, but not too much. They acted grateful to be included, because that's what Earth Command had ordered. Be friendly, be helpful, don't make waves. Jake had always wondered why. Earth had advanced ships. They had weapons. But Command always said the same thing: observe, learn, and stay peaceful. "What did the council say?" Jake asked. "Nothing," Lisa replied. "They just sat there. The Zentari speak, and everyone else goes quiet. The council is afraid of them." "Are we afraid of them?" Lisa was quiet for a moment. "Command says to maintain diplomatic protocols. They're sending new orders. You should receive them soon." The transmission ended. Jake stood there staring at the empty screen. Ben walked over to him. "Do you think they'll actually attack us?" Ben asked. "I don't know," Jake said. "We've never given them a reason to fight us." "Maybe that's the problem," Ben said quietly. "Maybe they think we're weak." Before Jake could respond, the communications officer called out. "Captain, emergency transmission from New Haven Colony." New Haven, one of humanity's agricultural worlds. 2 million people lived there. Families, children, people growing food for Earth and the other colonies. "Put it through," Jake ordered. The screen showed chaos, fire, smoke. A man's face appeared, covered in blood. "They're attacking us," the man screamed. "Zentari ships. They just started firing. No warning. No demands. They're bombing the cities. Oh, God, they're—" The transmission cut out. The bridge went silent. Everyone stared at the blank screen. "Get me Earth Command," Jake said. His voice sounded strange to his own ears, hollow. "Now!" The wait felt like hours. It was probably 2 minutes. When the transmission connected, it wasn't the usual officer. It was Admiral John Drake himself. "Captain Morrison," Drake said. The Admiral was an old man with white hair and hard eyes. "I know what happened. We're monitoring the situation. Sir, New Haven is gone," Drake said flatly. "The Zentari hit every major city. 50,000 dead so far, maybe more." Jake felt cold. "What are our orders, sir?" "File a diplomatic protest with the council. Demand an investigation. Call for sanctions." "That's it?" Jake couldn't believe it. "Sir, they just murdered 50,000 people." "I know what they did, Captain." Drake's voice was ice. "Follow your orders." "But, sir, do you trust me, Captain Morrison?" The question caught Jake off guard. "Sir, do you trust Earth Command? Do you trust that we know what we're doing?" Jake hesitated. Then he nodded. "Yes, sir." "Good. File the protest. Act outraged. Act helpless. Can you do that?" "I can, but I don't understand." "You will," Drake said. "Soon." There are things you don't know about humanity's first contact with the galaxy, things we've kept classified. But the situation is changing. We gave them a chance, Captain. 30 years we've been peaceful. We helped them. We shared knowledge. We asked for nothing but to be left alone. And they saw it as weakness, Jake said. Yes. Drake's eyes were hard. They did. And now they'll learn the truth. But not yet. First, we give them one more chance. We follow proper diplomatic channels. We do everything by the book. And if they attack again? Drake smiled. It was not a pleasant smile. Then the gloves come off. Stand by for new orders, Captain. Classified orders. You're going to learn some interesting things about your ship. The transmission ended. Jake stood there, his mind racing. Around him, the bridge crew worked quietly. They had all heard. They all knew people on New Haven. Ben walked over again. Jake, what do you think he meant? About our ship? Jake looked around the horizon. It was a diplomatic vessel. That's what the records said. That's what everyone believed. But suddenly he was wondering why a diplomatic ship needed such powerful engines, why the hull was so thick, why certain sections were off limits even to him. I don't know, Jake said, but I think we're about to find out. His console beeped. New orders incoming. Classified. Eyes only. Jake took a breath and opened the file. He started reading. His eyes went wide. Ben, he said quietly, get the senior staff. Conference room now, and make sure it's secure. What is it? Jake looked at his old friend. The truth, he said, about what humanity really is. About what this ship really is. About what we've been hiding from the galaxy. He kept reading. With each line, he understood more. And with understanding came a cold certainty. The Zentari had made a terrible mistake. They had poked the sleeping bear. They had mistaken mercy for weakness. And now they were going to learn why humans didn't have any natural predators on Earth, because humans were the predators. Colonel Amy Rivers watched the tactical display and tried to control her anger. Another human colony under attack. This time it was New Portland. The Zentari weren't even pretending anymore. They just showed up and started shooting. How many this time? She asked. Her aide, a young lieutenant, checked his tablet. 30,000 dead. Maybe more. They hit the medical centers first. Amy closed her eyes. Medical centers. Hospitals. They were targeting civilians on purpose, trying to send a message. The message was clear. Humans were weak, and the Zentari could do whatever they wanted. Get me General Hendricks, she said. The general appeared on her screen moments later. Paul Hendricks was a big man with a square jaw and gray hair cut military short. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. Colonel, he said. Sir, we can't keep doing this. We can't just watch while they murder our people. I know, Hendricks said. His voice was rough. Believe me, I know. But we have our orders, from the very top. To do nothing? To wait, Hendricks corrected. There's a difference. The World Council is meeting right now. They're deciding. Amy wanted to scream. Deciding what? Whether our people deserve to live? Deciding whether humanity is ready to show the galaxy who we really are? That made Amy pause. She knew what he meant. Every officer above a certain rank knew the truth, knew what Earth had been hiding for 30 years. You think they'll approve it? She asked. After New Portland? After 80,000 dead in 2 weeks? Hendricks smiled grimly. Oh, yes. They'll approve it. Dr. Morgan is presenting her findings to them right now. Kate Morgan stood before the World Council and tried not to shake. She was a scientist, not a soldier. She studied alien species, their biology, their evolution, and what she had learned terrified her. Members of the Council, she began. When humanity first made contact with the Galactic Coalition, we immediately began studying the other species. We wanted to understand them, to learn how to coexist peacefully. She brought up a hologram. It showed various alien species. The Centauri, tall and thin with long limbs. The Vrex, short and wide with 4 arms. A dozen other species, all different shapes and sizes. What we found was shocking, Kate continued. Every single species in the galaxy evolved as prey animals, every one. The Centauri evolved from herd animals that ran from predators. The Vrex evolved from burrowing creatures that hid underground. All of them have herbivorous ancestors. She paused, letting that sink in. Humanity is the only species that evolved as hunters. We're the only apex predators. We're the only ones who ate meat as our primary food source. And this gives us enormous advantages. Another hologram appeared. Brain scans, reaction time tests, combat simulations. Human reaction time is 3 times faster than the galactic average. Our spatial awareness is unmatched. We can track multiple moving targets simultaneously. We have an instinct for strategy, for tactics, for setting traps, because our ancestors had to hunt to survive. But we evolved past that, one counselor objected. We're civilized now. Yes, Kate agreed. But the instincts remain. The capabilities remain. And there's more, much more. She showed footage of human history, ancient battles, medieval warfare, world wars. Not the sanitized versions they shared with aliens. The real footage, the brutal truth. Humans have been perfecting the art of killing for 50,000 years. Every advance in our civilization came with advances in warfare. We built cities and we built walls. We discovered fire, and we built flamethrowers. We split the atom and we built bombs. It's in our nature to weaponize everything. The council sat in stunned silence. When we joined the galaxy, Kate said quietly, we made a choice. We chose to be peaceful. We chose to hide our true capabilities because we hoped we could be better. We hoped we had evolved beyond our predatory past. And now? Asked the council president. Now the Centauri have proven that the galaxy doesn't reward peace. It rewards strength. They've killed 80,000 of our people because they think we're weak. Because we let them think we're weak. President Karen Mitchell stood up. She was a small woman with iron gray hair and eyes that had seen too much. Dr. Morgan is right, she said. We tried peace. For 30 years we tried. We shared technology. We helped with disasters. We asked for nothing, and they repaid us with murder. She looked around the room. I'm calling for a vote. Do we continue to hide what we are, or do we show them the truth? The vote was unanimous. 2 hours later, Ambassador Lisa Campbell stood before the Galactic Council. Every species in the galaxy was watching. The chamber was packed. People of the galaxy, she began. Her voice was calm, but her hands were shaking. For 30 years, Earth has been a peaceful member of this coalition. We have followed every law, respected every tradition. We came in friendship. She paused. The Centauri Empire has now killed 80,000 human civilians in unprovoked attacks. They have ignored all diplomatic protests. They believe we are weak. They believe we will not fight back. Lisa took a deep breath. Earth hereby issues this statement to the Centauri Empire and all who support them. Cease all hostile actions immediately. Withdraw from human space. Offer full reparations for damages. You have 48 hours to comply. The Centauri ambassador stood up. He was tall, easily 9 feet, with gray skin and 3 eyes. He laughed, actually laughed. Or what, human? You'll file another protest? Write another complaint? He looked around the chamber. Humans are prey, like the rest of you. They have no teeth, no claws. They're nothing. Lisa stared at him. This is your final warning. Stop attacking, or we stop pretending to be civilized. The Centauri ambassador laughed again. The whole Centauri delegation laughed with him. 48 hours, Lisa repeated. She turned and walked out. In Earth's military command center, General Hendricks watched the broadcast. When it ended, he activated his communicator. All units begin Phase 1. Recall all diplomatic personnel. Evacuate non-essential civilians from border colonies. Activate the defense grid. Sir, Colonel Rivers said, what about the fleet? Hendricks smiled. It was not a kind smile. Move them into position. All of them. Every ship we've been hiding. Let's show the galaxy what a human war fleet really looks like. All of them, sir? That's 10,000 warships. Every last one, Hendricks confirmed. The Zentari want to see our teeth? Let's show them why Earth has never been conquered. Let's show them what apex predators look like when you hurt their young. He looked at the countdown clock. 47 hours and 53 minutes remaining. And, Colonel? Yes. Sir? Pass the word to all commanders. If they don't stand down in 48 hours, we don't just win. We make sure the galaxy never forgets what happens when you mistake human mercy for weakness. The 48 hours passed. The Zentari did not withdraw. Instead, they sent a fleet. 500 warships dropped out of hyperspace near New Terra, humanity's largest colony world. Admiral Krestar, commander of the Zentari fleet, looked at his display with satisfaction. New Terra had 3 million humans living there. When he was done, there would be none. Begin the attack, he ordered. His ships moved forward. They expected to see civilian transports fleeing, unarmed stations begging for mercy. That's what prey did when predators arrived. What they saw instead made Krestar's blood run cold. The civilian station wasn't running. It was transforming. Huge panels slid open along its hull. Gun batteries emerged. Missile tubes, energy cannons. The station that looked like a peaceful city was now bristling with weapons. Sir, his sensor officer stammered. That station. Its hull is military-grade armor. Those aren't civilian power generators. Those are warship reactors. That's not a station. That's a fortress. Krestar stared. That's impossible. Our intelligence was wrong, a human voice said over the open channel. About everything. A human appeared on every Zentari ship's screen. He was an older male in a military uniform, standing on what was clearly a warship bridge. I am Admiral John Drake of the Earth Defense Force, the human said. You were warned. You did not listen. Your mistake. You dare threaten us? Krestar snarled. We have 500 ships. You have one station. Drake smiled. Look again. Space around New Terra suddenly lit up with new contacts. Ships appeared on the Zentari sensors. Not civilian transports. Warships. Dozens of them. Then hundreds. The ships that the galaxy knew as humanity's city ships were changing. Civilian panels falling away. Weapons deploying. They had been warships all along, disguised as something harmless. All ships, open fire, Krestar ordered. His voice was not as confident now. The Zentari fleet fired. Hundreds of energy beams and missiles streaked toward the human positions. The humans fired back. Captain Greg Matthews stood on the bridge of the UES Valkyrie and watched the tactical display. His ship had been pretending to be a cargo hauler for 5 years. He was tired of pretending. Railguns locked, his weapons officer reported. Fire, Greg said calmly. The railguns fired. Not energy weapons like the Zentari used. Physical projectiles. Solid tungsten rods accelerated to a fraction of light speed. They hit a Zentari cruiser and punched straight through it. Through the shields, through the armor, through the entire ship. The cruiser exploded. Target destroyed, the weapons officer said, sounding surprised. One shot. Next target, Greg ordered. All around New Terra, the battle was going the same way. Human weapons were devastating. Railguns that ignored shields. Nuclear torpedoes that turned Zentari ships into clouds of radioactive gas. Kinetic missiles that hit with the force of asteroids. But it wasn't just the weapons. It was how humans used them. Lieutenant Nina Foster watched her tactical screen and called out targets. Enemy destroyer, Mark 7, cruiser formation, Mark 12, carrier, Mark 3. She was tracking 15 enemy ships simultaneously, predicting their movements, seeing patterns in their formations. Her brain processed combat data like she was born to do it. Because she was. Humans were born to hunt. The Zentari ships moved in tight formations, staying close together for mutual protection. That's what herd animals did. Safety in numbers. Human ships spread out. They attacked from multiple angles. They isolated targets. They cut off retreat routes. They hunted. Enemy carrier is breaking formation, Nina reported. Predict they'll flee toward Mark 18. Intercept course, Greg ordered. Cut them off. The Valkyrie moved, fast. Faster than any Zentari ship could match. Human ships were built for speed and agility, built by a species that chased down prey on an open plain. They caught the carrier as it tried to run. 3 human destroyers bracketed it. The carrier didn't stand a chance. Admiral Drake watched the battle from his command ship. It had been 17 minutes since the fighting started. Status report, he ordered. 472 Zentari ships destroyed, his tactical officer reported. 28 damaged and drifting. All human ships operational. No casualties. Drake nodded. Let some of them escape. Sir, let 8 ships go. We need witnesses. We need them to tell the galaxy what happened here. The order went out. Human ships pulled back from 8 Zentari vessels, giving them a corridor to escape. The Zentari didn't hesitate. They ran. Kreztar was on one of those ships. His flagship was destroyed. Half his bridge crew was dead. He had transferred to an escort vessel, and now he was running for his life. He watched his sensor display in horror. 500 ships, the pride of the Zentari military, gone in 17 minutes. His communications officer was receiving transmissions from the dying ships. Screams, pleas for help. Reports of weapons that shouldn't exist, of humans moving and fighting with impossible speed and precision. How? Kreztar whispered. How are they so strong? A transmission came through on the emergency channel. The human admiral again. You asked how, Drake said. He looked tired, sad even. I'll tell you, every species in your galaxy evolved running from predators, hiding from predators. Humans evolved as the predators. We didn't run. We chased. We didn't hide. We hunted. He leaned forward. For 50,000 years, we perfected the art of killing, and then we learned to control it, to use it only when necessary. We came to your galaxy in peace because we chose to, not because we had to. You murdered my fleet, Kreztar said. No, Drake replied. You murdered 80,000 civilians, men, women, children. We responded, and we were merciful. We let you live to deliver a message. What message? This is Earth's final warning, Drake said. To the Zentari, to anyone else watching, stop attacking us or we stop pretending to be civilized. We tried to fit in. We tried to be like you. But you're not equipped to be predators, and we are. If you force us to embrace our nature, there won't be a power in this galaxy that can stop us. He paused. Go home, Kreztar. Tell your Imperator what happened. Tell him that humans offered peace for 30 years. You rejected it. Now you get to see what we really are. The transmission ended. Kreztar's ship jumped to hyperspace, fleeing toward Zentari space. Back at New Terra, Admiral Drake looked at his staff. Broadcast the battle footage, all public channels. Every species in the galaxy needs to see this. Sir, that will terrify them, his communications officer said. Good, Drake replied. Fear is honest. They should fear us. They should fear what happens when they push too far. Maybe fear will buy us the peace that kindness couldn't. He stood up. Send a message to Earth Command. Tell them the mask is off. Tell them humanity just showed the galaxy its teeth. For better or worse, they know what we are now. Around New Terra, the human fleet regrouped. The disguised city ships didn't bother hiding anymore. They hung in space like the predators they were, waiting, watching, and across the galaxy, on 1,000 worlds, 1 billion beings watched the footage of the battle and understood a terrible truth. Humans had been holding back. The friendly, peaceful species that asked for so little and caused no trouble had been hiding claws the whole time, and now those claws were out. The Galactic Council chamber was silent. Every representative had watched the footage, some multiple times, as if they couldn't believe what they saw. Ambassador Lisa Campbell stood at the human podium. She waited. Let them process what they had seen. Let the fear sink in. Finally, the council speaker found his voice. "Ambassador Campbell, we had no idea." "No," Lisa agreed. "You didn't. We made sure of that." "But why?" The speaker was a Vrex, a short being with 4 arms and gray skin. "Why hide such power? You could have dominated the council from the start." Lisa took a deep breath. "Because we didn't want to dominate anyone. We wanted friends, equals, partners. Earth's history is full of empires that conquered and destroyed. We learned hard lessons. We learned that true strength is choosing peace when you have the power to make war." She activated her display. Images appeared. Human history. Not the cleaned-up version they had shared before. The real thing. "This is World War I," she said. Footage played, trenches, poison gas, millions dead. 20 million casualties. We did this to ourselves. This is World War II. Mushroom clouds rising over cities. 70 million dead. We invented weapons that could destroy our entire planet. More images, more wars. Korea, Vietnam, regional conflicts across centuries. "We've been fighting and killing since we discovered fire," Lisa said quietly. "We got very good at it. And then, finally, we learned to stop. We chose unity over division, peace over war. When we reached the stars and found you, we decided to keep being peaceful. You lied to us," accused the Zentari representative. Not the ambassador who had mocked Lisa before. That one was dead. This was a new one, younger, and clearly frightened. "We omitted information," Lisa corrected. "We never claimed to be weak. You assumed it. You saw our restraint and mistook it for inability. That was your error, not ours." She brought up new images, technical specifications, ship designs, weapon systems. "This is humanity's actual military capacity. 10,000 warships, each one more advanced than anything in the galaxy. We've been building them for 30 years while you thought we were just mining asteroids and growing food." The council stared at the numbers. The implications were staggering. "You could have conquered us at any time," the speaker whispered. "Yes," Lisa said. "But we didn't want to. We wanted to join you, learn from you, share our discoveries, build something together." "And now?" asked Councillor Vextar, a moderate Zentari who had always opposed the war. "Now you know the truth," Lisa said. "Humanity is the only species in the galaxy that evolved as apex predators. We have faster reflexes, better combat instincts, stronger aggression responses, and 50,000 years of experience in warfare. The Zentari learned this the hard way." She paused. "But we're still offering peace. The Zentari Empire can surrender, dissolve their military, grant independence to their conquered territories. If they do this, humanity will not pursue further conflict." "And if they refuse?" Vextar asked. "Then Earth will demonstrate what happens when you awaken a sleeping predator that was trying very hard to be civilized." The chamber erupted in arguments. Some species wanted to sanction Earth. Others wanted to ally with humanity. Most were just terrified. In the Zentari Imperial Palace, Imperator Zarkesh watched the same footage for the 10th time. Each viewing made him angrier. "Impossible," he snarled. 500 ships destroyed in 17 minutes. It's a trick, clever editing." His military advisor, General Tekvar, shook his head. The footage has been verified, Imperator. Independent sources confirm it. The humans, they were hiding their capabilities. Then we use more ships, Zarkesh said. 500 wasn't enough. We send 5,000. We don't attack their colonies. We attack their homeworld. We destroy Earth itself. Imperator, perhaps we should consider... Consider what? Zarkesh roared. Surrender? Accept defeat from a species we thought were prey? Never. I will not be the Imperator who bowed to humans. He activated his command network. Mobilize the entire fleet, every ship, every soldier. We're going to Earth. And we're going to show the galaxy that the Zentari Empire does not submit to anyone. But Imperator, Tekvar protested, if the humans were hiding their colony defenses, imagine what protects their homeworld. Then we'll find out, Zarkesh said. Prepare for invasion. I want 5,000 ships at Earth within 1 week. And I want the Council to watch. I want everyone to watch as we turn the human homeworld to ash. Director Sam Bradley sat in his office on Earth and read the intelligence reports. His job was to know things, to predict what enemies would do. Right now, his predictions were grim. The Zentari are mobilizing everything, he told President Karen Mitchell via secure channel. Every ship they have, they're coming here. How many? Mitchell asked. 5,000 warships. It's their entire military. Everything. Can we stop them? Sam smiled. Madam President, they're about to learn why nobody has ever successfully invaded Earth. Explain. The Sol system has been a fortress for 20 years, Sam said. We've armed everything. Mars, Luna, the asteroid belt, every moon around Jupiter and Saturn. We have weapons platforms they can't even imagine, and that's before our fleet engages. You sound confident. I am, Sam said. The Zentari think they're invading our home. They don't understand what home means to a predator species. This isn't just another planet to us. This is our territory, our den, the place where our cubs are born. He pulled up tactical displays. When a predator defends its territory, it doesn't fight to win. It fights to annihilate any threat. The Zentari attacked our colonies, killed our people. Now they're coming for our home. They just made the worst mistake possible. Mitchell was quiet for a moment. How bad will it be? For us. Minimal losses. For them. Sam's expression was grim. Madam President, the Zentari Empire is about to cease to exist. 1 week later, the Zentari fleet arrived at the edge of the Sol system. 5,000 ships in perfect formation. It was the largest military force ever assembled in galactic history. Imperator Zarkesh stood on his command ship and stared at the blue-green planet in the distance. Earth, the human homeworld, soon to be a graveyard. Begin the attack, he ordered. The fleet moved forward. They crossed into the asteroid belt, and the belt opened fire. Asteroids that looked like rocks were actually weapons platforms, thousands of them. They had been sitting dormant, looking like natural debris. Now they activated. Railgun fire from every direction, missiles launching from hollowed-out asteroids, energy beams from hidden installations. The Zentari formation broke apart as ships exploded. "Fall back!" Zarkesh screamed. "Regroup!" But there was nowhere to regroup. Mars revealed itself as a giant fortress. Luna lit up with defense batteries. Jupiter's moons launched swarms of attack drones. And then the human fleet arrived. Not hundreds of ships like at New Terra, thousands. They came from every direction, having hidden in the outer planets. The Zentari fleet was surrounded. Admiral Drake opened a channel to every Zentari ship. "You were warned," he said. "Twice. You didn't listen. You killed our people. You attacked our colonies. And now you've come to our home. This is where it ends." "We have 5,000 ships," Zarkesh said desperately. "You can't—" "Watch us," Drake interrupted, "and understand something. You're not just fighting Earth's military. You're fighting the combined fury of every human who ever lost someone to your attacks. every parent who buried a child, every child who lost a parent. You're fighting 8 billion angry predators defending their home. He leaned forward. You wanted to see humans uncivilized? You're about to get your wish. The human fleet attacked, and the galaxy watched in horror as Earth demonstrated what humanity really was when all pretense of civilization was stripped away. The battle for Earth lasted 4 hours. It felt like 4 years to the Zentari who survived. Captain Jake Morrison flew his fighter through the chaos and felt something primal awaken inside him. For 5 years he had been diplomatic, peaceful, patient. Now he was hunting. His targeting computer tracked 6 Zentari fighters at once. His hands moved without thinking, muscle memory from 1,000 training simulations. Simulations that prepared humans for something the galaxy said would never happen. War. He fired. 3 Zentari fighters exploded. The other 3 tried to scatter. Jake predicted their moves before they made them. He had the instincts of a pursuit predator. The Zentari had the instincts of prey. He destroyed them all. Target-rich environment, his wingman called out. Her name was Beth Scott, and she was laughing. Actually laughing. They're everywhere. Focus, Jake ordered, but he understood. This was what humanity had been suppressing, the joy of the hunt, the thrill of competition, the satisfaction of being good at something their species had evolved to do. They were predators, and right now they were apex. On the ground, or rather on Luna, Private Ryan Clark prepared for combat. He was a Marine, infantry, the kind of soldier who fought in close quarters. The Zentari had tried to land troops on the moon. Big mistake. Here they come, his sergeant said. Remember your training. These aren't like us. They'll panic. They'll cluster together. Use that. The Zentari soldiers came around the corner in a tight group. 20 of them armed with energy rifles. They moved like a herd because that's what their instincts told them to do. Stay together, safety in numbers. Ryan and his squad were spread out, separated, taking cover. They moved independently, but coordinated perfectly. Pack tactics. The fight was over in seconds. The Zentari never had a chance. Sir, one of Ryan's squad mates said, looking at the bodies, I almost feel bad. They didn't know how to fight like this. They killed 80,000 civilians, Ryan said flatly. They came to our home to finish the job. I don't feel bad. In space, Admiral Drake watched the tactical display. The Zentari fleet was in full retreat now, or trying to retreat. The human ships were faster, more agile, better coordinated. Sir, the Zentari command ship is disabled, his tactical officer reported. Multiple hits, dead in space. Board it, Drake ordered. I want the Imperator alive. Marines launched from a nearby ship. They cut through the Zentari hull with plasma torches and poured inside. The Zentari crew tried to resist. They couldn't. Human soldiers moved through the corridors with practiced efficiency. They had done urban combat training for years. Close quarters battle was something humans excelled at. Imperator Zarkesh was dragged to the bridge and forced to watch the display screens. His fleet was dying. Ship after ship exploded or went dark. Of 5,000 vessels, fewer than 500 remained combat effective. Admiral Drake appeared on the screen. Imperator, I'm giving you one chance. Order your fleet to surrender. Now. Never, Zarkesh snarled. The Zentari Empire does not. The Zentari Empire is over, Drake interrupted. Look at your display. You came here with 5,000 ships. You'll be lucky to leave with 500. Your military is destroyed. Your conquered territories are already rebelling. Your empire is collapsing as we speak. He leaned closer to the camera. You can surrender and live, or you can watch every single one of your remaining ships die. Then you'll surrender anyway. Choose. Zarkesh looked at the numbers. The reality of his situation finally penetrated his pride. He was beaten. Completely. Utterly. Beaten by a species he had thought was prey. I surrender, he whispered. Drake nodded. Transmit the order. All Zentari forces are to stand down immediately. The order went out. Slowly, the Zentari ships stopped fighting. They powered down weapons. Some tried to run. Human ships chased them down and disabled them. No mercy, no escape. Every ship was accounted for. When it was over, 4,700 Zentari ships were destroyed or disabled. 300 had escaped to hyperspace before the cordon closed. Not enough to threaten anyone ever again. President Mitchell broadcast to Earth and all the colonies. People of Earth, the battle is won. The Zentari attack has been repelled. Our home is secure. Cheers erupted across Earth, but Mitchell's face was serious. But we have decisions to make, she continued. The galaxy now knows what we are, what we're capable of. We can never go back to pretending. The question is, what do we do now? 3 days later, Ambassador Lisa Campbell stood before the Galactic Council again. This time, the chamber was packed. Every species wanted to hear what humanity would say. Members of the Council, Lisa began. Earth has defeated the Zentari invasion. Their military is destroyed. Their empire is collapsing. Former client species are declaring independence as we speak. She paused. Many of you are wondering what Earth will do next. Will we conquer? Will we build our own empire? Will we become the new threat? The chamber was silent. No, Lisa said firmly. We will not. Because that's not who we are. Yes, we're predators. Yes, we're better at warfare than any species in this galaxy, but being good at something doesn't mean you have to do it. She activated her display. These are Earth's terms. The Zentari Empire will be dissolved. All conquered territories will be granted immediate independence. The Zentari homeworld will be demilitarized. They can keep a defense force but no offensive capability. Earth will temporarily oversee this process. And then, asked Counselor Vextar. Then we go back to what we wanted from the beginning, Lisa said. Peace, trade, cooperation. We don't want to rule you, we want to work with you. The difference is, now you know that we're choosing peace. It's not weakness, it's a choice we make every day. Why should we trust you? Someone called out. Lisa smiled sadly. Because we've had the power to conquer the galaxy for 30 years and we didn't. We could have taken everything when we first arrived. We didn't. We tried peace. You rejected it. You forced us to fight. And even now, after you attacked us, killed our people, invaded our home, we're still choosing mercy. She looked around the chamber. We're predators, yes, but we're civilized predators. We know what we're capable of, which is why we control it. That's the difference between us and the Zentari. They thought strength meant using it. We know strength means knowing when not to. President Mitchell addressed Earth one final time. The war is over. We won. But victory isn't the point. The point is what we do now. She stood in front of a window, Earth visible behind her. For 30 years we hid what we were. We were ashamed of our predatory nature. We thought we had to pretend to be like them to be accepted. We were wrong. Not about being peaceful. That part was right. But about hiding who we are. We should have been honest from the start. Yes, we're predators. Yes, we're dangerous. But we choose to be civilized. We choose peace. And that choice means more because we have the power to choose otherwise. She smiled. The galaxy feared us when they learned the truth. Good. A healthy respect for what we can do will prevent future conflicts. But they also saw our restraint, our mercy, our decision to help rebuild rather than conquer. That's who we are. Predators who chose civilization, hunters who chose peace, warriors who chose diplomacy, not because we had to, because we wanted to. 5 years passed. The galaxy was different now. The former Zentari territories were independent nations. Some thrived, some struggled. Earth helped all of them, sent engineers, teachers, medical personnel, not conquerors, helpers. The Galactic Council reformed with new rules. Every species had an equal voice. Aggression was met with collective response. Peace became profitable, and Earth took its place as a leader, not through force but through respect, the predators who chose peace. The species that could destroy the galaxy but protected it instead. Admiral Drake, now retired, stood in his garden on Earth. His grandson played nearby, chasing a ball. Happy, safe, unaware of the war that had been fought to protect him. Jake Morrison found him there. "Admiral, they want to know if you'll speak at the memorial." Drake nodded. "For those we lost?" "All of them. Ours and theirs. The president says we need to remember both sides, remember the cost of war." "She's right." Drake watched his grandson. "That's the point, isn't it? We won, but we lost 80,000 people getting there. The Zentari lost hundreds of thousands, all because they thought mercy was weakness." "Do you think we did the right thing?" Jake asked. "Hiding what we were?" Drake considered. "I think we tried. And when trying wasn't enough, we did what we had to do. That's all you can ask." He turned to Jake. "You know what the real achievement is? Not that we won. Anyone with enough weapons can win. The achievement is what we did after. We could have ruled. We chose to serve. We could have taken revenge. We chose to rebuild. That's what makes us civilized," Jake said. "No," Drake corrected. "What makes us civilized is that we had to choose. The other species, they're peaceful because they evolved that way. We're peaceful despite evolving as predators. That's harder. But it's also more meaningful." He looked at his grandson again. "We gave him a galaxy, where being strong doesn't mean you have to hurt others, where power is measured by what you protect, not what you destroy. That's worth more than any empire." In her office, Ambassador Lisa Campbell prepared for another council session. Her job was easier now. Humans were respected, listened to, but never feared too much, because they had proven they could be trusted. She looked at a message on her desk. It was from a Zentari school. They wanted to learn about human history, not the sanitized version, the real thing. They wanted to understand how a species of predators learned to be peaceful. She smiled and began writing a response. "The secret is simple. We remember what we're capable of. We remember the cost. And we choose every single day to be better than our worst instincts." That was the lesson. That was what Earth had taught the galaxy. Civilization wasn't about where you came from. It was about what you chose to be. And humanity had chosen well.